Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, The Mandalorian Season 3, an unannounced upcoming project, and more. As always my dear friends, before we dive into it, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button if you've not done so. Thank you all so much for the support, now so close to 100,000 subscribers. But without much further ado, and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So following the end of the Book of Boba Fett Season 1, we now look to the other shows coming out this year, The Bad Batch Season 2, Obi-Wan Kenobi on May the 25th, Andor this fall, and now we know that The Mandalorian Season 3 is also dropping this year as well. There was a bit of confusion if it was going to be right at the end of this year or if they were saving it for next year. But it's been exclusively revealed that the upcoming third season of Mando is going to drop at Christmas time, or more specifically just afterwards, kind of like what they did for the Book of Boba Fett last December. Now the exact release date is rumoured for the 28th of December. The third season is going to pick up from the end of the Book of Boba Fett, where Mando and Grogu are finally reunited. So in terms of the Mandalorian show itself, they didn't really have any screen time without each other, because as we saw in the Book of Boba Fett chapters 5 and 6, Grogu was briefly with Luke, but now he's back. Now Grogu having chosen Mando and being returned in the last episode by R2-D2 is really interesting, considering we all assumed that Season 3's direction would not include much of Grogu, and instead focus on Din Djarin's quest to unite whatever's left of Mandalore as the wielder of the Darksaber. But the last 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, which in a way bridged the gap between the Mandalorian Season 2 and 3, showed us that contrary to expectation, Grogu is going to be in Season 3 right from the start. Now we're not too sure what missions the two will go on or what the plot of Season 3 has in store, but I think it's safe to say Mandalore is going to be a big part of it. And Din Djarin's journey with the Darksaber is far from over. Will he now take on the challenge set to him by the Armourer and try to find the assumed destroyed living waters of Mandalore in order to atone for removing his helmet? Or will he finally accept being a Mandalorian outside of the Children of the Watch? And another question is, where is Bo-Katan right now, and how is she going to play into the season? Bo-Katan still wants the Darksaber, and she clearly has a big role in Season 3, as Katie Sackhoff teased. And also, given the Armourer's view of Bo-Katan and Clan Kryze in general, it'll be interesting if the two of them meet in Season 3, or should I maybe say, meet again. A lot of fan theories point to the fact that the Armourer could be recast from the Clone Wars, and admittedly there is a lot of evidence that adds up. And a further question for Season 3, now that Grogu is no longer with Luke and not training in the ways of the Jedi, where does his future lie? Could he really be the next Tar Vizsla as a Mandalorian Jedi? We saw Grogu return to Mando yesterday, wearing the chainmail shirt, and he seems very confident to use his Force abilities in front of Mando in order to protect him. I could definitely see him being a Force user who's also a Mandalorian. It's just that the Jedi dogma of no attachments does not suit him. But that doesn't mean that he can't adopt aspects of both. I just can't wait to see what kind of adventures Season 3 is going to take us on. And I should also say, given the overlap that we saw in the Book of Boba Fett, we're also going to see the continuation of the stories of Fennec Shand, Boba, and even Cobb Vanth. Or should I call him Robo Vanth, once he's done being modded. And even if the Book of Boba Fett does have a second season, it's clear that the Mandoverse is full of overlap, with Ahsoka, Luke, Boba Fett and Mando probably appearing in every series. And there's also the pressing threat of the Imperial Remnant, their cloning facilities, and of course we can't forget about Thrawn. Thrawn and Ezra Bridger are still out there, and in the Ahsoka series we're probably going to see Ahsoka and Sabine Wren search for them. But Ezra aside, going forward in the Mandoverse, Thrawn has been poised to be a massive player. But don't be fooled, Thrawn may not be the villain. He's trying to warn about a bigger galactic threat, the Grisk. And we simply don't know where he and Ezra ended up after Star Wars Rebels, and there's a very good chance, Thrawn being part of the Chiss Ascendancy, that he teamed up with Ezra as they tried to navigate back, and using Ezra's Force abilities to make that happen. So while we assume all of this is going to be in the Ahsoka series, there could be elements of it in The Mandalorian. And speaking of Season 3 of Mando, there are so many reasons to be excited. We have Carl Weathers, Bryce Dallas Howard, Taika Waititi, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, all confirmed to be directing, although I'm sure there's going to be others. Now I briefly brought up the Imperial Remnant. They need to show us Moff Gideon escaping New Republic Republic prison. Giancarlo Esposito hinted at a substantial role once he's been freed, and we don't know who else works for him. I'm super hyped for The Mandalorian, and the last 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett showed me just how much I've missed it. So Mando is going to be the last release of this year, but before then, of course, we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which, as we learned yesterday, releases on May the 25th, the same day that A New Hope came out in 1977. And today we have quite a bit of news for Kenobi. First of all, the most recent one is an interview with Ewan McGregor, who says that the show is really going to satisfy fans. And once again, he praised Deborah Chow for being an incredible showrunner who understands Star Wars inside and out. And my absolute favourite moment is when he talks about prequels fans who were kids in the late 90s and early 2000s who are now all grown up and have a much greater appreciation for the prequel era than older fans who were more critical of episodes 1, 2 and 3 when they came out. And this speaks to me because, as you guys know, I'm a prequels girl. It's what I consider to be my Star Wars, and we all have a trilogy that introduced us to this amazing franchise, and it is completely generational. So the group of fans that Ewan is talking about includes myself. I was just a wee kid when The Phantom Menace came out, and I went to see each of the trilogy movies in cinema on release day. And that's when I really felt the magic of Star Wars for the first time. And nothing really compares to your Star Wars experience as a kid. So let us now dive into what Ewan said. When Forbes asked him what he could share right now about his feelings playing Obi-Wan and what it was like suiting up back in his iconic robe again, he says, "Oh my gosh, well, I loved playing him again. I mean, it's quite interesting after the experience of making the first 3 films and living through sort of their reception in the world, which wasn't always glowing, I have to say. And then now, meeting the generation who we made those films for, children then and now people in their late teens or early 20s, those people who were kids, they loved them. For us, it was the original films of the 70s, but for them, it was our films that were their Star Wars. So to step back into his shoes again and to do a whole series about Obi-Wan Kenobi for those fans, it just makes me really happy." And then, my dear friends, Ewan confirmed something massive, that in the Kenobi series, we're going to get scenes with Anakin and Obi-Wan in flashbacks to the Clone Wars. In his own words, he said, "I think it's no secret that Hayden Christensen comes back, and we even got to play scenes together as Obi-Wan and Anakin, and it was just fantastic to work with him again." Now this, in a sense, is our first official confirmation that we are getting Anakin and Obi-Wan flashbacks, but we kind of suspected that they wouldn't have got Hayden Christensen back if it was just to be in the Darth Vader suit. And this leads us on to our next story, where Making Star Wars confirmed that there are going to be flashbacks, but also that we're going to see helmetless Vader in the Bacta tank. But they say that one of the flashbacks is going to be a new shot of their iconic duel on Mustafar from Revenge of the Sith. In their own words, they say that the sequence is going to be reminiscent of, quote, "From my point of view, the Jedi are evil," spoken by Anakin to Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith, before Obi-Wan got the high ground, and you know the rest. Making Star Wars also revealed that there were scenes filmed in caves, and there are sequences where Obi-Wan has to hunt for food and sleep on the cave floor. By the sounds of things, we're going to witness Obi-Wan's struggles against the harsh desert of Tatooine. And we are certainly getting a lot of Tatooine recently. And so finally, my dear friends, we have a new rumour that Lucasfilm are creating a project to reboot the Jedi Order, but this is going to be long after the Rise of Skywalker. In a recent episode of Ringerverse podcast, Joanna Robinson shared a rumour that Lucasfilm is interested in crafting a Jedi Order that undertakes a new direction. But the twist is that this Jedi Order is going to embrace attachments. In her own words, she said, "I've heard whispers on the wind that this is indeed something Lucasfilm is interested in. Just more broadly, rebuilding the Jedi Order, a Star Wars story where someone actually tries to rebuild the Jedi religion as one that allows for attachment." But she does say that nothing is set in stone, and she hinted that this project is going to take place after the sequel trilogy, a brand new and unexplored era of the galaxy. But we're just gonna have to wait and see if this pans out. But otherwise, my dear friends, that brings us to the end of this news update. If you guys enjoyed it, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're brand new, and a massive welcome if you are. And if you want more videos from me that are not found here on YouTube, often very long videos, then go check out my Patreon. The link is down there in the description. I promise you won't regret it. And also, if you missed yesterday's videos, then go and check them out. One of them is my review and breakdown of the Book of Boba Fett finale, and the other one is me getting really excited at the new Obi-Wan Kenobi poster. But until the next one, my dear friends, may the Force be with you always. I'm wishing you an amazing day no matter where you are in the galaxy. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.